Hey, it's Aaron, and today I have a question from, I'm not actually sure who asked this. Anyway, this question is kind of a two-parter, even though it was asked as one single question. The question is, what will happen to General Motors now that it is no longer using Allison transmissions and Duramax is going? So this is a two-part question, because they're two separate things, even though in a lot of people's minds, Duramax diesel engines are kind of tied to Allison transmissions. They're two separate things. So let's tackle the Allison question first. A few days ago, General Motors and Allison announced that they were ending their partnership as of the end of this year. That partnership has been going on since before World War II. General Motors actually owned Allison transmissions for a very long time, up until just, I want to say it was about 20 years ago when they sold it, and then Allison went public on its own, and who knows how this is going to affect that company going forward, because it was most well known for this GM partnership. But there's some caveats there. So most of the General Motors products that are using the Duramax diesel and Allison branded transmissions are not actually using Allison made transmissions. They're branded. They're actually in-house transmissions. Most of them are 10-speed, so most of the newer vehicles that are coming out right now, with the diesel especially, they have a 10-speed transmission that was made in partnership with Ford back just a few years ago, and that's why both companies are have been rolling out that 10-speed with pretty much everything. These are not Allison transmission, they are Allison branded transmissions. So what's happening is GM basically told dealerships that no vehicles coming to their lots will have Allison badges on them anymore, and that by the end of any vehicles they have on the lot that currently have that can be advertised as such, but vehicles that don't should not. And then even vehicles that do have it, they should be rebadged by June of next year if they haven't been sold, because they no longer have the rights to use the Allison name. So basically, as far as GM, this really doesn't affect production at all. Every vehicle that has an Allison branded transmission is not using a transmission from Allison. Allison is mostly making heavy duty transmissions, and General Motors is not using their transmissions. They're using their own. Now, the second question, Duramax. So Allison and Duramax are tied together really closely in most people's minds. You see them together on badges on GM trucks, so Chevy and GMC and whatnot. And so a lot of people are assuming that because Allison and GM are splitting, that Duramax is as well, but that's not the case. Duramax is a completely separate company, and it's actually wholly owned by General Motors. GM owns Duramax through a company called D-Max Limited, I think is the name of it. And that company started as a partnership with Isuzu way back in the day, where they got together to design and build diesel engines mostly for the US market, and they got together, they made this company Duramax, and they started building these engines. And eventually General Motors bought out Isuzu and now wholly owns Duramax, and has for quite some time. We will not see the Duramax engines go away. What we are seeing is they are dropping one engine line that up to now has been their go-to 3-liter diesel. They're dropping that in favor of a new design that is still a 3-liter diesel, but it is more efficient, more powerful, more efficient, cleaner, etc., etc. So that's the evolution of engines. That's what's supposed to happen. So hopefully that answers the full question. The question was the GM Allison split and Duramax, and there you go. All right. Yeah, hopefully this answers that question. If you've got a question, fastest way to get an answer is join my members area. It's only like $3 a month. you get labeled as one of the cool people, and your question goes to the top of the order. Another way is just to comment on this video. So members saw this video for about a week before it went public, so they get to ask and comment in whatever way before anybody else does. And then once this, you can also find me on, like Facebook, Twitter, places like that. Just make sure to tag or DM me so I see your question. And then if you see this posted on a website like Car News Cafe or DriveModeShow.com, you can comment on that post. I should see that as well. All right, so there you go. That's a good question. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.